Hi guys. So I work with a lot of people that have a hard time doing different exercises, and their mobility has suffered a great deal from different traumas, different injuries, different life choices, whatever the case may be. So I wanted to go over with you a few little easy exercises that you can do to build muscle when you're more stationary in your, seat. Um, so if you have use of everything, you should be able to, I got a photo of her. You should be able to um, stretch everything out, and little by little every day, it should get better and better and better. Hang on. Okay, so with Max's help, basically what you want to start out with doing is just marching. You're marching, you're just sitting here, marching in place. You don't realize exactly just how many muscles this gets moving, but you have muscles here, you have all your muscles down here, you have muscles up here, and you are actually moving quite a few muscles, and you're not even really doing that much. You're sitting right in your chair, and you're just doing standard marching, seated marching. So you can do that. Another thing that you can do is to try to get your body stretched out. If you're having any problems with any muscles along this area right here, you should be able to start to stretch out those muscles. It takes a little bit of time to do it though. So one of the ways that you can do that is you can take your knee right here and you can pull it up, and you can just hold it in place whenever you start to feel too much pull down there. You should be able to get it right up to your chest eventually, as long as you don't have an injury or something that is going to prevent you from doing that. So basically what you're going to do is you're going to lift, and this is also working your arms a little bit too. You're going to lift, you're going to lift, and you're going to want to try to stretch that out, as much as you can. Me, I can get it up there quite a ways, so I got to pull it all the way up there to stretch it out. Another good exercise that I see that people do not do on a regular basis is lift your arms. Lift your arms above your head. You don't have to do a whole lot, just the stretching. Many people I work with cannot lift their arms above their head, and they have shoulder injuries, or it just gets so arthritic and stiff from not using it on a regular basis that you end up with just, stiff shoulders where you can't lift them up like that. The reason you can't, if that's your problem, most of the time the reason you can't is because you don't. So one thing that we have to do as we get older, you see these children, they're sitting around, they're flopping all over the place, they're stretching your body. Another thing you can do is stand on your tiptoes. That gets your ankles moving, works different muscles in your body. But just like lifting your arms above your head and holding and then relaxing, or if you can only go, so far, holding, then relaxing. And as you work this out, your mobility is going to get a lot better. Now, when you see shoulders and things like that, I see a lot of shoulder injuries. It just seems to be a common thing. One thing that we have with a lot of shoulder injuries is that people don't stretch out. They just don't stretch ahead of time. It's not something that we think about doing. It's not something that we do on a regular basis. So basically, your muscles get all tightened up, and then you go out and start working them, and you pull a muscle, or or whatever the case may be. So basically just stretching out your body on a regular basis. So like shoulders, you can roll your shoulders around as much as you can. This is just basic stretching, basic muscle building exercises. There's nothing difficult in it unless you have a specific injury or a specific thing, and then that's the area of your body that you really should be working on. If it's an injury, obviously talk to your doctor or something like that, but most things can handle minimal exercise. So just lifting the shoulder up, or rolling the shoulder will give you more mobility as time goes on, as you do it on a regular basis. So these are just a few exercises that you can do. If you can stand up, I got a few more. If you can stand up, one thing that I notice all the time is that people have a lot of problem with this area right here in their lower back. So one of the things that you can do, and I get laughed at all the time for this one because I'm standing there in front of 80, 90-year-old people, and I'm like, you just need to wiggle it a little bit, you know, and stretch out by just bending your hips in different, and if you can't go that far, you know, just rolling them around. And this, you can feel the pull in your lower back, just moving your hips around, you know, wiggling them around a little bit. And dancing is great for that because dancing really gets you limber. You know, you really gotta wiggle around a lot to get to dancing. So it really makes you limber. But the hip thing, I get teased all the time about that one. But the hip thing really helps in the lower back. Also, bend as far as you can. Just bend forward and hold it. If you can't touch the floor or anything, that's fine, but you're stretching out all these muscles along your back. You're stretching out really good. So you're just bending forward. I mean, if you can reach all the way down to the floor, then do it, you know, and you can feel the pull on your muscles. And that should pull all the way down your legs and all the way down your body. Don't pull past the point where your body is saying no, because that's how you cause yourself an injury. So if you can't bend that far, go as far as you can and just hold it. You know, if you can only bend that far, hold it. You know, and eventually that will start to loosen up there in the back and make it to where you can start bending a little more and a little more and a little more. Back problems are notorious for causing us all sorts of problems. So it's your best to keep it as stretched out as you possibly can. I like to roll my shoulders, and you can see like how, you know, I'm getting it all stretched out right in here, and then I can hug myself. That's another thing. And that pulls out different muscles in the back. Another thing that you can do is bend your neck. A lot of times people are sitting in front of a computer, or they're sitting on their phone, or they're sitting on anything. Stretch out your neck. Give your neck a little bit of exercise. So, you know what I mean? Just bend it forward and bend it backwards. Give it a nice roll. I can hear it crack and pop. You know? Give it a nice roll around and try to get your range of motion back where it's supposed to be. Hands are another big thing. Hands. So people just do the same things, repetitive things all the time, every day, every day, every day. Whereas kids, they're flopping around, they're doing all sorts of different things. So they're keeping their bodies really limber, plus they're young and they haven't had all the trauma and all, you know, most of them haven't had all the trauma and all the things that we have had. So, but you can see just how limber they are, you know, so like your hands, just basically stretching them out and making a fist, stretching them out. Another thing you can do is just pushing on here. You get a nice flat, you know, and that'll stretch them out a little bit. Rolling the wrist around helps out a little bit. Every motion that you make, every different direction that you go in, every different way that you move your body, you stretch out different muscles. So, and it's really important as we age because they are not getting used, or certain ones are not getting used, or you get so stuck in your day-to-day patterns that a lot of muscles aren't getting used. So if we use different muscles on a more regular basis, then it helps with a lot of different problems or problems down the line. One of the things that you have to keep in shape is your core. If your core is not in shape, then you typically will start to have back problems. Not that that's the only cause of back problems, but keeping this in shape. This is the strongest part of your entire body. And I don't care how big your muscles are, or this is the strongest part of your entire body. Your torso is where most of your weightlifting, most of your any of that comes from. So when you keep this in shape, then that makes you a much stronger person, because you use your core for a lot of things that you don't realize that you use it for. I was able to do a great many things with using all my core muscles back in the day when I was younger. Now I'm going to teach you how to stretch out. But anyhow, the point is that just simple exercises, you know, just bending your legs, just doing, these are things that you can do, you know, in any seated position, or just as you're doing something or whatever, like rocking your hips back and forth. You're standing there cooking, whatever. I do it all the time. So when I'm cooking, anyhow, yeah, but you just kind of stretch everything out. These are little simple things that you can do on a regular basis to help keep your body stretched out and help your muscles out.